Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. We're going to be DLMMing live. I'm just getting a few things set up here and waiting for people to come in. We're currently looking at Chill Guy as well as Gritty. Chill Guy's dipping. We did just close out of this pool, and now we're going to set up a one-sided pool. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to sell what I have here to try to take advantage of it where it's at now. And then I'm going to use the soul that I'm selling, and I'm going to set up a one-sided pool to be able to buy into it as it dips down. Well, we'll see what happens. Jupiter's going to give me a few issues, so we're going to set that up. Welcome on in, everybody. Glad you're here. Need to pulling up my broadcast here. I'm going to mute myself on that one. Good, we're good. Okay, cool. Howdy, howdy. All right, so it looks like it went through there. I'm not sure what's going on with Jupiter. You can see that it is dipping pretty heavily. So I'm glad that I got out there, and we're now going to use that to add in. We don't want to autofill. We're going to do a one-sided, and it's dipped a good amount here. This is probably a good time to get into it to do this one-sided, and we're going to just do a spot one-sided. We're putting in 20 soul here. It already moved down a little bit on me, but that's okay. We're also in Gritty, which I'll show y'all in just a second, but we're trying to jump into this. Like I had mentioned earlier with Chill Guy, I could see it going to this level here and bouncing, or even going down here. And so what I'm doing is I'm setting it up right around this range. It is, well, I'm setting it up a little later than I wanted to. But I wanted to setting up in that range. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not even screen sharing. Wow. Welcome in, everybody. Let me get my screen share up. That would help a tremendous amount. You're just supposed to interpret what I'm talking about, didn't you know? All right, cool. Now welcome in. We're doing a one-sided spot. We're in a 125 bin, 1% on Chill Guy. We think that it's going to dip down here. So as it does, we're going to try to DCA into it. And we wanted to try to get in around this range here, but we've gotten in a little bit late, it looks like. We are finally in, though. And so we're doing a one-sided soul pull, which means that as the price dips, we will buy up more of it as it goes down. And so, like I said, I was expecting Chill Guy to do a pretty big drawback. So as we saw it dip below the range, I said, I'm going to go ahead and sell it. Sold what I had, and then I bought back in. I do think it bounces off of one of these ranges. So the place that I got in at really isn't the best, but it could dip even lower. So maybe where I got in at ends up being better than I expected. And as it kind of dips and comes back up, this pool right here will dip down and start to earn a lot of fees as it's in its dip, actually. And so it'll start to look like almost like a two-sided pool if it works its way down. So we just need to watch and see where it's at. We're right on the edge of it right now. And of course, if it bounces here, then what we did won't even work in the first place. And we'll just look at a point to buy back in at that point. And we'll keep watching it. We're also watching Gritty. Let me go back over there. Yeah, y'all can see the screen now. That's my bad. My bad. We're going to take a look at Gritty. Starting to bounce there. Our Gritty pool is doing almost 500%. It's dipped down a little bit, and we're pretty close to center here where we got in at. We ended up buying in around the pump here as it broke out above its previous all-time high, which is great because we were able to ride it all the way up, and now we've rode it down. And it looks like it's bouncing off of this support here. I kind of thought I put these two lines close together because they're both fairly small, but they technically are supports. And so I imagine that it would bounce off of one of these two and then work its way back up. It's probably going to create a higher range up here. Oh no, this is Chill Guy. Sorry. Chill Guy is bouncing off of there. Gritty's doing the same thing though. It's bouncing off of this range here. We got in around the level that it's at here. Chill Guy, we got in a little bit higher, which is why once it pumped back up, we ended up selling. And we're going to look to get back in. We sold it up here. And so what we might end up doing, because I created a one-sided pool for it to dip into, but it took me a second to do it. And so as it was dipping, I actually missed out on some of that. Let me see. Yeah, you can see here it's pushed up. So we can just close this pool. So this is what we'll do. I think it's found a good range now where it could go lower or could go higher. Not too sure, but I'm going to buy back in here and I'm going to set up a two-sided pool. Oh, wait, I can't buy with that. We're going to get it with a decent sizing because this is a token that just has a lot of attention right now. I think it could go higher, or if it does dip, I think that it could have a good bounce back. So it's one that I kind of feel a little more confident about. And so we're going to set up a two-sided pool on it. It'll be a total of about 12 to 14,000 once we get it all in there, if we can buy it where it's at. The decent amount of slippage there. See if we can get in here. I'm using Radium because Jupiter was just having some issues for me. I'm not sure if that's a local thing I'm having issues with or if anybody else is having that, but volume on Chill Guy is crazy. For real, Binance listing like right now. Yeah, well, a Binance listing right now would be crazy, right? That'd be pretty insane. Did it go through? Looks like it did. Okay, good. All right, so we'll set up a two-sided here with Chill Guy. I feel like this is a good spot. It doesn't look like my chart's moving at all on it, so I need to refresh Bird Eye there. Oh, it immediately transaction failed for slippage as well. Unless it's just not moving, but I'm pretty sure this is just my Bird Eye froze up. Happens sometimes. Hey, if you have any questions about DLMMing or what I'm doing, you can feel free to copy trade me. Just to know that you could lose out. I do have trades that don't go super well. I have some trades that do very well. I don't give financial advice. Everything that I give is just my own opinion. And so if you'd like to follow, listen in on what I do, fantastic. But just know that it's not financial advice. So on HUZ, yeah, you can see here we're still waiting. Someone had mentioned HUZ earlier, but it looks like it's going into a dip. And so we want to start to see it move up before we'd be interested in getting into it. So we'll see what it does there. We're still looking at Chill Guy, which I'm not sure why, but there's some sort of like blip on the chart here. I've been seeing that recently with like Bird Eye and some different charts trying to like sync up with the blockchain because it's so congested right now and it doesn't quite show up. I'm going to look on another app that I have and see what it's doing as well with Gritty. Gritty seems to be moving and testing off of this area here, so that's good. Let me check out Chill Guy on my other app. The app I'm using is Vector, which has really good up-to-date stuff. So yeah, it looks like it's actually slightly higher than where oh, there you go. It's showing it now. It's at 4.3. There it goes. It started moving again. So it does look to be pushing back up. So that's good that we got in where we did. We actually haven't got in yet. It failed again. See if we can get in before it pushes up too much. Start collecting those fees again. Man, we've just been missing the areas that I wanted to get in at, and it keeps failing for some reason. Meteora is a product of Jupiter, so they could be using the same server. So if they are getting a lot of attraction right now, that could be why some of these are failing. It does say that it failed to slippage though. So all right, we're back in. Not too bad of a spot here. Could see it dip back down, could see it come back up, but I think it had a good pullback here. It could have larger pullback, but this feels like a good middle range to get in between where it's gone as far as its all-time high here and where it's going, so that we can capture fees as it ranges along the way. So that's a good spot. Still watching Gritty. Gritty does seem to be dipping a little bit after coming up, so we'll just keep watching that. If it ends up breaking down further, then we might get out, but we'll keep watching it and look for it to bounce back up as well. HU's still watching it. I could talk about Fred. Fred's one that, again, I just I think has a lot of good traction and could do well long term. It has been struggling. Even whenever it's come back up and looks like it was going to start to push back into like really good ranges and stuff like that. It's had these big die-offs like this, and then it's come back up again. So we'll see. I'm watching Fred. I'm still holding Fred. It's out of range, but I'm wanting for it to come back into it. I might end up setting up a new range, but we're just going to keep watching it for now. Chill Guy's looking really, really good though. What's the difference between DLMM and CLMM? So D stands for dynamic. C stands for concentrated. DLMM is just a progression of the CLMM. So basically they said, hey, we're going to take, no, it's not decentralized, centralized. It's dynamic and concentrated. And so basically what they did was they took the idea of having concentrated liquidity pools, and then they made it even more dynamic and more efficient. And what they did was they made all these individual bins like small little pools that collect fees along the way. And so it just basically makes it more efficient and more fluid the way that they do it here. It also, they added this dynamic fee thing here. So like right now the base fee is 1% on this pool. But because whenever a coin is moving and there's a lot of volume on it, they know that people are more willing to buy and pay a fee. And so because of that, there is a dynamic fee, which will go up and max out at 10%. So whether you have 1%, 2%, or 5% of the base fee, if there's enough volume, this dynamic fee will change. So it allows for earning more while still staying very efficient. And it does have the ability to concentrate liquidity just like a CLMM. So it's just a better, more advanced version of CLMM. New question. If I put one SOL single token on a pair, and so the bin is one side only to the downward side, it says both side. What does the bid ask both side go? I'm not, since I would sell all my token back to SOL if the price drop. I'm not sure I understand your question completely, Nameless, but I can give you what I think you're saying. So if you create a, let's go to like add a position here. If you go to create a one-sided pool and then you put SOL and it's just one-sided like this, they have 3 different strategies here. So spot is just a general all-around strategy. And so what happens is my 5 SOL is distributed between these bins. And you can say this first bin has 0.14, 0.1428. And you can see that all of these bins have that, right? And so as the token goes down, my SOL will get transferred into the token because you're literally buying the token with your Solana as it goes down. And so as it's doing that, it'll buy it up. And so your total amount up here will go from having however much SOL you put in, like the 5 SOL here, to maybe as it dips down, having like 4 SOL and like 5,000 Chill Guy or whatever it is. And so the value of your overall portfolio will also be going down. And so if you were just to do that and close the pool and sell it, you'd end up being down minus the fees that you've collected. And so if the volume's really high and you're earning good fees, that could offset the downward motion. The fact that the value of your pool has gone down, but sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay because a lot of these coins, we're okay with them going down. We're just looking for them to come back up and closing out either around even or higher and having collected a lot of fees along the way to earn more. And so that's kind of the goal. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, you can maybe reword it and I might be able to understand it better. But yeah, Chill Guy's dipping down a little bit as far as the percentage, but it looks like it's earning around 90, 100%. Even if this is 30, 40, or 50%, it's still really, really good. So the gray-black graph at the bottom doesn't impact anything, or does it? Yeah, this is showing how much liquidity is currently in here. So like whenever I set up a pool like this, what it's doing is it's showing right now on this pool that there's more liquidity on the low side than the high side. This is actually important information as well, because what this means is that there's a lot of as the price dips, there's going to be a lot of people buying into it with these pools. So there's actually a pretty strong support on the bottom side of this token, whereas on the top side, there's not. And so as this pushes above this range here, there's not much resistance for it to be able to break out. Now, this is just for this pool specifically. And so this doesn't show overall liquidity. So that is something to think about. But if you're in one of the bigger pools like this one, it does give a good indication of what that means. And so there's a lot of resistance for this to be bought up. You could also do a curve or bid-ask strategy. The curve is one I pretty much never use, and it just assumes that most of your liquidity wants to be right around the price you're currently at. And the bid-ask strategy is one that does the opposite. It assumes that there's going to be a lot of volatility and movement. And so you want to have most of your liquidity at the ends of your ranges, not in the center. And so that could potentially have been a good option for Fred, considering Fred's going like way up and down, for example. Still watching Gritty bouncing well. Chill Guy came back up and then looks like it's bouncing down again. So that's good. Lots of good fees we'll be earning here. You can see it's on the bottom end of the range because I ended up getting in a little later than I wanted. I tried to get in closer to down to here, but we're good with this. So we'll keep watching it. What's the minimum amount? There really is no minimum amount except like maybe like if you only had like $10 or something, $5 or $10, it'd be pretty hard. And the main reason why is just because of fees. When you create the pool, you have to pay a fee when you close the pool. And so just through the fees themselves, buying and selling, it could hurt you if you're not making enough money. And so like $5 or $10 would be pretty hard. But I'd say if you have like $50, even like 20 or $30, $50, that would probably be the minimum. Obviously, the more you have, the more ideal it is. But you could start that low. What about switching the base token from Sol to the other one as the target goes up? Is that a bad idea? Switching the base token from Sol? Yeah, you could. That's a little more of a complex thing, but basically right now, if you look like the downside of my pool, all the bins have only one Solana in them. And so this one Sol that's here is all stagnant, right? So it's all one Sol. If you look here though, the amount of Chill Guy I have on the way up, you can see it actually goes down as it goes up. And so if you swap the two, it'll actually do the opposite. So if Chill Guy is the secondary and Sol is the main token, then as this drops, the amount of Chill Guy will go down, and the opposite will happen with Sol. And so it's doing an inverse basically of what your chart's doing, and it makes it to where your Sol is devalued as it moves. And so it's usually considered worse to do that. You could do it, and technically there could be some benefits, but most of the time it doesn't outweigh the risks and the potential loss that would happen from doing it that way. What's the minimum amount? I said that. Is there any way to put one Sol to the downside and say I enter at $1 price and downside, but I also want to sell above $1 to capture upside? Yeah, I mean, the way you capture upside is by putting the token in. So there's no way to capture the upside unless you put the token in. But one thing that you could do is let it dip down and then close it out. And then as it comes back up to $1, you can then create a one-sided on the other way back up, because you would have bought some of the token on the way down and then can re-add it in later. That would be like the closest thing to that. But that's why we create two sides. So that way we have both, we collect fees on both the down and the up of the token. That's why we do that. When doing a double-sided, oh yeah, I figured I can show this. Let me put this up. When doing a double-sided Sol USDT pull on Meteora, if the price drops out of my range and I rebalance, am I not locking in losses since my average buy price for Sol is higher than the current price, losing more than I earn in fees? Correct, Reese. So if you're doing a Sol USDC or Sol USDT pull, if the price drops and it gets out of your range, then what ends up happening is you've now bought Sol. Let's say you bought Sol at 245, 243, 241, whatever, as it's dipping down. Now Sol's at 235. The Sol you bought is now worth less. So you have lost money, and the fees you would have earned is not going to be as good as what that loss is. So that's called impermanent loss. You would be in a loss. For me, whenever I'm doing this, I expect Sol to go up over the long term. And since Sol USDC is a very stable long-term position for me, I'm not worried about it because I'll just keep rebalancing as it goes down, and then I'll rebalance as it goes up. And my portfolio will end up just bouncing up and down, but I'm earning fees the whole time. So for instance, even though the price of Sol is dropping, maybe you had 5 Sol, and now as it drops, you have 5.5 Sol or 6 Sol, right? And so you're earning more Sol. So as the price of Sol goes up, you'll actually be making more because you bought it at a lower price than when it goes up. And so for me, that's the case. Now, when it comes to meme coins and stuff like that, I consider it a loss whenever it goes down and I close it out. But with meme coins, usually you have a higher interest that you're earning, a higher amount of fees, like this 78%. Sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's 10%, sometimes it's 900%. Either way, it usually ends up being high enough that even if I close out lower, the amount of fees I earned ends up being more beneficial in the long run. So Still watching gritty. It looks to have created a support. Like I had said before, I kind of created 2 lines here because it looked like it was almost creating like one support because they're so close together, which is looks like what it's done there. And then we're still watching chill guy, which is ranging really nicely. I would like to see it start to come back up and have some equal to or higher highs than this. It can come back down a little bit, and I could watch it bounce off this line. But if it ends up coming lower, I'll probably just close it out and take the loss on it. Hopefully earning more fees along the way, but I might let it go a little further. I'll see what my range looks like on Meteora. And then someone was talking about Huz. We've been watching that one. Again, we're looking for Huz to create higher highs and higher lows. You can see from this low here, it came up, it created a higher high. From here, it came down and created a higher low than before. And so at this point, I'm wanting it to break above this line, showing another higher high. And then I would maybe look at getting in. I could even wait for it to dip back down again and then get in. But either way, I'd probably look at it if it broke above there. Continue to watch chill guy. This one. Yep. Great. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah, no problem. Did you check weight yet? I don't think I have. I'm going to close out of that pool. It's slowing me down. I mean, I checked weight like yesterday or maybe earlier today. Nico, what was your question? What did I say for what? For weight? Weight is printing? Oh, good. Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, I saw this yesterday. It was like at a few mil, I think. Maybe 4 or 5 mil. I don't remember. It's at 53 mil. What the heck? Why didn't I buy this earlier? Gosh, dang, dude. I remember seeing this so low. Yeah, y'all were posting about it when it was really low. Like, I think we were looking at it like way down here. Oh, yeah, I think I saw it come up and start to come down. And I looked at it when it was around here. And I was like, oh, it's in a downward progression. I would need to wait for it. But as soon as it started breaking back up into these ranges here or here, that would be where I would have gotten back into it if I was watching it. It's had tons of upward progression with only slight pullback. So this is normal to see a big pullback here. This is good, though, to watch because we could be a good time to get in. It might dip a little more, or it could be bouncing here. We'll see. Let me draw some stuff and take a look at it. This one, again, is kind of weird. It's got this big dip here. It's got a tiny one here. So it's probably the support somewhere around here. And these are the 2 highs above it. So I want to see it because, again, it's breaking down. It could come all the way back up here before breaking back down again. So we'll just keep watching weight. It's not a good entry right now, even though the fees are probably pretty good. My chart is kind of doing some weird stuff here, but it looks like it broke down to this range here. Chill guy looks to be bouncing back up. I'm going to refresh this as well. So again, there's sometimes with the blockchain with trying to the front end API type stuff, trying to sync with the blockchain. Sometimes it'll be a little bit off. Oh, the question about the Sol USDT. Yeah, basically, Nika, I just said that with the question about Sol USDT is that, yes, there is impermanent loss if it ends up going down, like your overall portfolio will be low, but I believe in Sol over the long term. And so as long as I just keep rebalancing and earning fees, I'll end up growing how much USDT or USDC I have and how much Sol I have to where over time, my portfolio should go up, even though in the short term it's going down. I really like Chill Guy's chart, though. It's looking good. So gritty coming all the way down to this resistance here. One thing I've said before is like these lines aren't perfect. And so, I give a little bit of leeway to it. If it does dip back down closer here, I might end up selling and getting out. But if it if it starts to push back up, then that's what I'll look for. If you're looking to get into gritty, I would say wait as well, because it is in a downward progression right now, and we'll want to see it start to bounce back up before you get into it. So we want to see it start to move back up and break above this line here. If it does not do that, then it's doing this weird sideways thing. Let me look if I can look on my app again on Vector. It's got really good charts for this. Yeah, it's actually dipped a little bit further. Let me see where I'm at on my my portfolio. Yeah, my bird eye's not updating properly. Weight could be a good buy too. I can't even tell. All this is kind of slow right now. Gritty. So Gritty's earning us really good fees, but it has dipped to a little bit closer to the bottom end of our range. Let's see if it's building a support here or not. I'm looking at a chart on my phone. I'm gonna go ahead and withdraw it right now, and then we'll see if I'm gonna get out of it. I'm just watching this chart. It's pushing below the resistance, I mean the support lines that I had drawn, showing that it could drop lower. But it's hard to know. Let's see here. There you go, it's updated. So you can see it drop below that line, which means that there's not another support until right around here. And so, yeah, let's see, did this close out? Okay, perfect, it did. We're not selling yet because we want to see if it's going to bounce back, but we're just preparing to. If we need to, we can open up the pool again. So we're just watching it. It does look like it's getting a little bit of a bounce back, so that's good. Weight, that's good to see. So you can see here lots of upward progression of weight, and now it's in like this downward progression here. And so we're going to wait to see how far, no pun intended, wait to see if it keeps going up or if it's going to dip back down before we get back into it. So do you have any background checks on the tokens that you provide equally? Background checks? What do you mean by that? Like, am I checking, like I check holder count, stuff like that. I look to try to make sure that it's a solid coin. Like in that regard, I do some quick checks on these, look at the holder percentages, which all of these, I had already looked at all these at one point. And so I knew that they were pretty good. Yeah, Gritty's actually come back up from here a little bit. It's actually back up to 0.05 something. So one thing about closing out the pool at this point, yeah, it's going to move back up here. One thing about closing out the pool, when it comes down here, it allows me to be ready to sell if it does dip below where I want it to. And then it also, what it does is because I bought on the way down, I ended up buying tokens here. And so if it does end up pushing back up, I actually make back some of the money that I lost whenever it was dipping down, because some of what I bought has now gone higher than where I bought it at. And so it kind of allows me to do that. We'll see here. I'm not selling Gritty yet. I actually might I might come back and add it into a one-sided pool on the way back up like this. And just see if, because it does look like it's starting to push back up, which is good. Hey, Richard, I don't normally do like specific individual coaching. If I did, this is something that I'm doing, I earn money off of and stuff like that. My time's valuable. So we could talk about it if you wanted to reach out to me about what that could look like. But it's not something that I've normally done in the past. Regarding malicious attacks on your Phantom wallet drains when using, dealing, and swapping these low cap coins, do you worry about this at all? No. So you want to check. That's something you check before you even start using the site. You want to look at the audits and things like that. The blockchain is really secure whenever it's set up well with a smart contract. And so normally I look at the website before I use it, like Meteora, and you can go through their documents. They have a bunch of different audits, security audits, as well as like audits on their actual coding and stuff like that to make sure there's no leaks in it. And you can go take a look at that, and it helps. But yeah, I've looked into that and I like it. So that's why I'm in it now. So we're in a one-sided pool on the way up with Gritty. We bought on the way down. We were prepared to sell if needed to, but it did look like it was bouncing back up. And so we are, riding it back up there. I'm checking out weight on my app here as well, just to see. It does look like it's dipping a decent amount. So this is why we were waiting, no pun intended, to wait for a big dip back. So we'll keep watching weight to see where we want to go. Gritty looks like it's trying to push back up. We did create that one-sided pool. If it does start to dip back down, we'll probably just end up selling it out. If it dips down below this range here, we'd allow it to come down some. But it does look like it has a good upward progression there, so we'll keep watching. Chill guy as well. I'm good with chill guy, like I mentioned earlier, coming down to this line here. This is well within range of what we want. And if it ends up dropping below this, then we'll look to close out the pool and potentially sell, similar how we did to Gritty. Gritty does look like it's trying to make a comeback, so that's a good sign. Let's see where our pool. So you can see it's just pushing into our pool just a little bit. We're earning really high fees on it, pushing up as well, which is good to see. Keep watching, wait here. But yeah, reach out to me, Richard, and I can chat to you more. If you join the Discord, like you said, you joined, you can reach out to me there and we can chat. Let's see here. You've got me so excited about DLMMing that I need a fourth display for this, bro. I feel the same thing. I have 2 screens, but honestly, I'm like, man, if I had like a third or fourth screen like up here, that'd be fantastic. But I just have 2 screens that I use right now. But I also will use my phone sometimes. Like I'll look at it and kind of watch it as needed there. So let's see. Let's look at Gritty on here because, again, my charts, I don't know what's going on with Bird Eye this morning, but my charts are a little they're not loading fully the way I'd like them to, which honestly, if I'm using Bird Eye or Deck Screener, I end up having the same issue. I like the layout of Bird Eye a little better, which is why I use it. It looks like Gritty has dipped back down some. Would have been great to see that. Let's see. Yeah, so it dipped down from its build up here. It's actually further down here. It's at, but I'm waiting to see if it breaks below this line again, which it very well may do. We're going to go ahead and close this out and just watch it again. Made a little bit of fees there. It does look like it's trying to bounce off that line, so we'll just keep watching. If you have any other questions, please let them know. Nick, hey, man, welcome in. So we went ahead and closed out of that. We still have our bag loaded up in case we want to sell here. We're just watching to see if it's going to go below its line, which I know y'all cannot see it because Bird Eye is being weird. But let's go to a 3-minute chart on these. And sometimes I find the 3-minute chart, for some reason, Bird Eye likes it better and it'll update properly. Chill Guy does look to be bouncing off that bottom range. I need to sync these all up to 3 minutes as well. Otherwise, they'll be weird. There we go. It's more accurate on Gritty, but still not fully accurate. So we're going to go ahead and sell our Gritty. It looks like it's dipping below the range that we feel comfortable with. And if it does end up pushing back up, which it very well could, then we'll get back into it. But right now it's still in a downward progression, so we don't want to just keep riding it all the way down. And so especially after it took a big all-time high, it's in its dip now. So we're going to look to get out of it. And then like I said, if it does start to like pull back up and the chart looks good, then we'll get back into it. But we don't just want to keep riding it all the way down. It's not showing it on our Bird Eye, but it is dipping below that range fairly aggressively now. So we're going to go ahead and try to get out of it. And we collected fees along the way. We're probably overall still down on this token, which is totally fine. The fees help offset that, which is why this is a much better option than just trading, right? Like if you buy the token and then it ends up dropping, you just lose more money than if you slowly DCA'd out of it. Or DCA'd into it, sorry, and then just and then collected fees as well, which offsets that, and then you get out. So we ended up selling there. Like I said, it's dipping pretty aggressively, even though the chart's not showing it. It's actually much lower than this. It could be bouncing off this range, actually, would be the next one that it would bounce off of, which it actually hasn't done that yet. It's got a little ways to go. So we'll see if it bounces off of there. It is dipping much lower. We're on the 3-minute chart now, so it looks like some of this is a little bit better updated. And we'll look for weight to do the same thing. So I'm looking for weight to bounce off of one of these lower levels. 64. Yeah, I mean, it's dipping pretty hard here. And so we'll look to see if it bounces. Could even bounce off of here or one of these down here also. These are kind of a one support here, but I would look for that before getting back in. You can see Gritty dipping. It ends up dipping lower than this. And so let's see here. Chill Guy. We can watch that. Yeah. Gritty's taking a big dip. But we did get out. We did sell it and make sure it went through and everything. Yep. Let's go check out Chill Guy. if you have time to do a mock audit using your method, that'd be amazing. But if not, don't worry, I'll reach out like you said. Yeah, the audit that I do, or I don't do like a full on audit. I look at the audits that have been done. And so there's third-party audits that are done on Meteora as well as any sites that I use. So I just go look at those, make sure they're legit, look like they're good, and then and that's pretty much it. So yeah, it looks like both of these are dipping. If anybody has any new coins, last night with Quant, I had a tighter range, made nice fees and closed position on a dip, sold on the bounce for more profit. Yeah, Quant ended up doing really, really well also. Sad that I missed that one. We're going to keep watching Chill Guy here. We want it to bounce here. Chill Guy might be one that we have to watch and get out of as well, but I think I have a little bit of a wider range. Let's see here. Depending on your convictions and things like that, it might be, might determine whether at this point you would get out or not, because there's not an actual support here. And so it looks like it's dipping even further. And so that's just something to watch depending on how wide of a range you have, how wide you're willing to go on the token, right? Like Fred is one that I had a really wide range on that I was okay dipping a little bit more. Chill Guy, I have a decent amount of position in. And so we're just watching to see how well it's going to do. If it's going to keep bouncing, it could come all the way down here, but I think I would prefer to get out and sell if it does drop any more than this. And then we'll get back in if it drops lower at another time. Again, we will take in some losses, even though we earn some fees on it. But again, the losses happen. That's okay. We want to try to minimize those as best as possible. And then capitalize on the wins as well. So yeah, we're just watching here. I'm going to go ahead and withdraw this pool. It did have a good little pump up and back down, which collected us a little bit of fees before we get out of this. And we'll keep watching the chart, but we'll probably end up selling, especially if it keeps going a little bit lower. That's wait. Here, let's move it over here. Let me look at Chill Guy. It actually looks like it's pumped back up a little bit. This is delayed, so we'll see. Another good thing about getting out of this pool here, like we just closed out of it, or I think we did. Let's see if it failed. It may have actually failed. I still may just be in it. If so, I'll just leave it. Is that whenever I close it out, yeah, I did close it out. Okay, good. Chill Guy is now going up. Back up, you can see here. And so where I bought down here, it's now coming up. So everything I bought below this line is now worth more, right? And so it offsets some of the losses that I took up here. It's actually looking like it's going to pump pretty high here. This is a pretty good, strong bounce back here. So me closing out here is actually really good, considering that it's trying to bounce back up pretty aggressively here. So we'll see. It looks like it might come up a little higher than this before continuing to kind of have a little bit of upward and downward motion. Any thoughts on Happy? We'll keep watching that. Keep watching Wait. Keep watching Gritty. Let's take a look at Happy. Happy is one I looked at a while ago. We had some Happy and we ended up selling it because it looked like it was going to keep dipping lower. I didn't know if it did dip lower, but I'm not sure if it's come back yet. So I'll take a look at Happy. I assume you're talking about Happy Cat here. These numbers over here don't look great. Just so y'all know as well, like a lot of stuff is down right now. A lot of big coins are down. Like there's just a lot of stuff down right now. And that's because I think a lot of people are anticipating Solana making a really big breakout. We saw it dip down to like whatever it was, 231-ish here. Oh, it's actually dipping down again. I didn't realize that. We saw it dip down pretty low and then start to move back up. And so I think a lot of people are kind of expecting it to to break out even higher and potentially hit an all-time high either this week or within the coming weeks for sure. And so I think because of that, a lot of people, once Solana was coming up, a lot of people were trying to buy in to be able to hold Solana in case it does end up going up even higher. Yeah, Happy doesn't look great. It did come up a little bit. It kind of reminds me, honestly, of a Fred chart, which we were looking at. Chill Guy is still pushing up even further. So the cool, again, with Chill Guy, we got out of the pool. We could be earning a lot of fees right now, but we wanted to be safe with it. And as it's pushing back up here, all the token that we bought below this line, we're actually just making a lot of money on as it pushes back up. And so like we could sell here right now and actually end up making a pretty good chunk because we got in around this range and we're buying all the way down. And now it's pushing all the way back up. So we're earning a lot. So we're going to hold on to it a little longer and see, because we could just sell it. But honestly, I'll probably just end up making another pool with what we have higher up now that it's going to be worth more. But I want to wait to see what it does here. I don't want to just get in if it's ripping all the way up, because I'll make more money off of it going up. I want to wait till it goes all the way up and then dips back down and finds kind of a middle range, and then I'll get back in. But this is a really good healthy pullback on it, which is good. Like I said, these are pretty normal on tokens like this after they rip up and make pretty big all-time highs. I mean, this is almost like a 30% move up from here to here. And so it made sense that it had like a 25% drawback after the move up. So we're going to keep watching it. I'm looking on my other chart as well. It looks like it just continually has upward movement right now. So that's really good. Oh, weight's taking a nice little bounce. Okay. We'll keep watching it. Gritty looks to maybe have found a support closer down here before it bounces back up. So we might get back into that. Happy, I would say I would not get into right now. Huz has also died down a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of that one just to reduce how many charts that I'm looking at here. And Chill Guy is looking pretty good. Yeah, it looks like it's taking a little bit of a dip. But Chill Guy's, the good thing here is that it's if you're looking at the chart, it came down here, and what it's doing here is it's breaking out from a previous high. So that looks like it's having overall, like it's probably creating a new upward trend from this downward trend. And so what we're going to want to see here is it's probably coming up here to test off this line, which is the previous high, and either breaking through here, which is good, or looking for it to dip back down and then come off of one of these lines, or even, which actually this line isn't a thing anymore. I'll have to wait to see. It's going to need to create a new support somewhere, either this line or somewhere around here. It'll probably end up creating it around here, or just a little bit lower. And then once it does that, we'll look for it to break back up. So we'll see what it does here. But overall, looking at it, looks like it's in a good upward movement. So that's solid. I'm going to go look at weight on my Vector app as well, because it's really accurate. And it looks like it's kind of hanging around this range right here. It looks like it could start to break out again. And so hard to know for sure just yet, but we may look to get into this one. So we'll copy that and just be prepared. We're not buying it right now, but we are going to look at getting into it. And we're going to do, because my sizing is kind of based on the market cap. And so like I got in for, about 30% more than this on Chill Guy, because it's a higher market cap and I really like it. Whereas on weight, it's a little bit of a smaller market cap. And so it's a little bit different. But yeah, weight's looking decent as far as this push up here. We might go ahead and just buy, but I kind of want to wait to see if it's going to have a little bit of a dip back first, or if it's going to keep pushing up. And it does look like it's pushing up here. So let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and size in now. We're going to buy 20 SOL, updated here. It could dip back down a little bit. It's hard to tell, but I think this is probably a decent spot to get in. It looks like it has a pretty strong bounce back upward trend here. And so it could take some dips in between this, but I think this is going to be a good spot for us to get in and create a one-sided pull on weight as it moves up. Crazy Chill Guy's already at 400K. I know. It is crazy. Would this be a good time to get into weight? Yeah, I'm explaining that now. It does look like it's a decent time to get in. So I think we bought some. Yep, we did. I think we'll do the 200 bin 2%. There's not a lot of money in this one. I'm going to make sure it's all synced up. If not, I might end up making my own pool. It's not synced perfectly, but it's not too far off. So we're probably okay with that. We're going to do a one-sided pool. I need to refresh so that it loads that we have it. Pretty sure we bought it. Let me double check. Maybe not. Oh yeah, just a Chill Guy is it, right? No, that's a different coin. That's a Chill Guy. So did it not buy? Maybe let's see. I thought it did, but apparently it didn't. It's not registering it either. So we'll try that again. It could have failed because of I bought more chill guy. That wasn't a good entry there. I meant to buy weight. That's funny. Okay. We're buying some weight. We'll go ahead and check out chill guy, which actually is in a slight dip, so that wasn't the best place to buy it. But I think as it dips down here, we'll look to create a pool. Let me just check on my other app here. Yeah, it's dipping here, so we'll wait to see what it does. I'm actually going to sell some of the chill guy that I have now because I accidentally bought in too much when I was trying to buy weight. And so I don't want to be overexposed to this. And it looks like it is dipping some. So we'll go ahead and sell that, which actually is profit based on how far it pumped up. But yeah, because it looks like it's dipping down a little bit, which I'll show y'all in just a second once I can get back to it. If I can get it to go through. And then we'll create a pool based on where it bounces off of with the remaining amount that we have. Because we wanted to get in at the sizing that we had before, but the current sizing is too much, and so I don't want to be overexposed to that if it does end up going down. So we did get into weight. We need to refresh it here. Yeah, so weight looks like it's at a good spot. I'm going to go back and take a look at that chart. I'm using the Vector app, by the way. It's an app made by Tensor. It's made for like trading coins and stuff like that. But the chart on it is actually like the most accurate and up to date that I've used. You can see Gritty's dipped down still a decent amount. It looks like it might try to break off of here. It might go lower. So it's good that we got out when we did. You want to try to minimize your losses. So we are looking at weight. It is dipping back just a little bit. And so we might end up the pool that we created. If we created it, let's see here. We might end up having to readjust. Okay, we haven't created it yet, so we'll just wait, no pun intended. We'll probably create a one-sided pool here if we can find a good resistance on it. And so weight looks like it's dipping down a little lower, and so we want to find a good resistance, and then we'll create it. We might do we'll do it here. Let me refresh, and then I'll add it in again. How do you decide the bin and what you mean by it's not sync? So I decide the bins by the range that I want to do. And so smaller bins means a tighter range. More bins mean a wider range. So depending on how wide I think the token's going to go and kind of where I want to stay, that's why I do it that way. And what do you mean by it's not sync? I just mean like what's actually happening on the blockchain has to be displayed on a front end like website like this. And so it just doesn't always show that immediately right away when there's a lot of congestion through the blockchain. One, the blockchain can be slightly delayed or out of sync. And then the front end of a display of something like this could also be out of sync. And so that's something that I look for. So we're going to do a one-sided on weight here. And if it does look like weight drops below the desired area that we want to put it into, then we'll just sell it as well. But it looks like it is making a little bit of a support where it's at now. So we'll continue to watch that. I was just going to ask that nameless. It's a sign to get into chill guy pool now. Could be. Regarding meme coins, what bin amount are you looking for? It depends on the market cap and it depends on the volume, but usually it's somewhere between 100 bin and 400 bin. And so 400 bin would be on a lower market cap coin, like 5 mil, 10 mil, 15 mil, and you'd put a 400 bin if you think it's going to move a lot. Other than that, you're probably looking at more of a 200 or 250 bin on coins that are anywhere between like 5 and 50 million that are going to have a decent amount of movement. And then on a coin that's like 400 million, 500 million plus, you're looking at like 100 bin. You could do a 200 if you think it's going to move a lot, but somewhere between 1 to 200. And so it kind of just depends on the coin, but that's the gist of it. All right, let's look at our portfolio here. Did we set back up that chill guy pool? Oops, I meant to go to portfolio. Yeah, weight looks like it's bouncing off of here again. So that's a good spot to get in at. Gritty still watching it. I haven't reset up the Chill Guy pool, so I'm also in a Lester pool. It's dipped down a little bit. I created a one-sided pool, so I don't even know if it's actually active right now. Oh no, it's way out. I need to close that and try another one here. It was doing well, but then it dipped back down. This is a little bit of Lester I already had in my wallet that I was holding for the long haul, so we'll just reset that. Yeah, weight's kind of chilling around this area here, so this will be interesting to see. If weight does not end up breaking back up here and it ends up kind of holding around this range, then we'll just keep holding it. But if it does break below here, then I might look to sell it. It's really not too bad, honestly, where I got in up here. So if it ends up coming down to here, it really wouldn't be too bad. I might actually make a two-sided pool on it to be able to capture that downside. Would you advise to do if the coin falls out of range, leave it for a while or take the loss? It depends on the coin. Fred's out of range for me. I'm leaving it for a while, but on a lot of coins, like the ones we're DLMMing now, ones that I don't feel as secure in over the long haul, I would actually, just if it got out of my range or got close to the end of my range and I was like, all right, I would just cut my loss, sell it and not worry about it. That's how I minimize my losses, is by having kind of a plan and saying, okay, this is what I want to do. This is where I think it's going to go. And if it ended up not doing super well, then I'll just get out, minimize my losses, and then try to maximize my wins. That's the goal over time. My portfolio fluctuates, but it should continue to go up over time. That's the goal. I've got CROAK dealing for a number of days. It's down a lot. Yeah, it is down. We're actually investigating because of some early sniper action and stuff that hurt us pretty bad on CROAK. But we are at a good spot now where we feel like we can build from, because a lot of that has gotten out of there. And so right now it's just building confidence, continuing to press forward. CROAK is a coin that I believe in strongly. It's the one that I created. I love the narrative behind it. I love the art, and the team's still working hard to be able to push it forward. And so CROAK is one that, yes, it is down, but one that we're still trying to fight for over the long haul. The team's wallets are 100% vested over 9 months, the team's wallets and the earlier contributed wallets, and those can be seen on Telegram, publicly available. And so we have sold none. We won't be selling any for maybe ever or a very long time. And so it's something that we believe in, and we're working, literally making no money, but believing in it for the long haul. And so, yeah, CROAK is one that we really love and we're fighting for. If you're interested in getting in, right now is probably a good time, considering the prices have dipped down a lot. My CROAK pool is also out of range, so of course not over. I just see him hit only loss starting to. Yeah, I mean, obviously it was doing really, really well in the beginning, but yeah, hard to beat the snipers. I agree, pretty frustrating. Let's see where weight is at. Weight's doing pretty good. It's actually holding around this range here, so we'll look for it to break back up. We're going to keep holding our one-sided pool because technically it's like right at my range where I created it. And so if it ends up pushing up here, which it looks like it might, then this will come back into range and we'll just ride it on the way back up. And it'll probably move around decently in there. Or if it ends up breaking back down, then we'll just go ahead and close it out and sell it. But it does look like it's at least holding now, if not maybe trying to make a fight back. As far as Chill Guy, we haven't made that pull yet, but this would probably be a good spot. It looks like it's found a good center part of its range. And so let's do that. I think we're going to do the 125 1% pull. Do you expect fees for DLMMing to dry up during a bear market, or are you still? Yeah, I mean, fees are going to go down as the volume goes down, right? Because there's less volume. And so the strategy behind that when there's a bear market is that there's still money to be made in DLMMing. It's just more competitive and harder to find. And so instead of this, where it's like there's lots of coins every single day, new coins that we're trying to DLMM, we'll be trying to find the ones that are going to be going up over the long haul. So the returns would go down, but the idea is that we'd still be able to earn a good amount. And so right now we're taking advantage of this because right now there's stupid amount of money being made in these. And so you want to try to grow your portfolio as best as possible now, so that over the long haul, even though the fees may go down, we'll still be earning way more than you would from like traditional finance or anything like that. So let's go ahead and get into this. I feel like this is a good spot, good middle of the range for Chill Guy to get back into the pool. We'll see if it goes through. So basically what happened was is we wrote it down. Oh, wait, Chill Guy here. So what happens is we wrote it up. As it started to dip, we said, okay, we're going to go ahead and get out of the pool. And so we didn't sell the token. We just got out. And then as it dipped down further, or sorry, once it got to the bottom here is where we closed it out. And then as it pulled back up, we actually ended up making money essentially because the value of the tokens we had bought on the way down are now worth more. We accidentally bought some. I can't remember where it was at, but we ended up selling that back. And then we waited for there to be a good dip off of the bounce. And then we entered back in here because you can see this is roughly the middle of the range for kind of where it's ranging at, slightly further on the downside, which is good because that means I should have more upside on my pool. As I created here, you'll see that it'll be more on the upside here. And we'll be able to collect fees and should be able to nicely let it range at a 125 bin unless it decides to break out again, in which we'll end up making a lot of money because it'll push out of range on the high side and we'll just close it out and take the money. Weight does look like it's trying to push up here, so that's good. We'll go back to it. It should be nicely at the bottom of the range here. You can see that here. And so it's starting to earn fees. If we're anything at like, 30, 50% or higher on the 24-hour, that's really good. This is a 200 bin. So this would allow for the token really to go like way up from here. Like it's at 50 millish, and I think it'll allow it to go all the way up to like 75 mil, maybe even more on this range here. And so we'll just keep watching that. But yeah, if it's at, yeah, we got into it down here. So yeah, I mean, we could have it ride all the way up to like up here on the bin that we're in now. So it's a good spot to be in. If there's any new tokens people want me to look at, let me know. What's your strategy for large SOL USDC amounts? So I've explained this before, but basically, speaking of, let me check. Okay, cool. I was just checking Solana. We're going to keep riding it out there. I'm not going to put a new pool in right now. It kind of depends. So like one thing that I did just like yesterday, I actually explained this in the fee printers chat in my token analysis, was that the token had dipped down to a range. Let me find it where I can show you. So Solana had been bouncing around, but it bounced up to a new all-time high, which I'll show you here in just a second. I say new all-time high, sorry, not new all-time high, new local high. And actually I didn't do it here. I think I did it here. Oh no, that's today, or is that yesterday? That was yesterday. Yeah, so around here. So what I did was I created a pool, a USDC SOL pool, somewhere around this range. I don't remember exactly where it was. And so as it was ranging, I was earning. But what happened was once it hit here, this 231, I actually drew this line out yesterday, and you'll be able to see this is the previous low resistance here, right around this range. And so as soon as it hit here, I started DCAing into it, and I really DCA'd over just a few minutes. So I pretty much bought it between 231 and 232, right up in here. And then because I expected it to bounce off of this and ride back up. And even if it didn't, I would have been fine with it dipping a little more. But you can see the large increase it took here. If it dipped down below here, it would have likely continued to fall, considering it took a pretty large pickup here. And there's not any support all the way back down to here. But I expected it to bounce off of this range. And so because of that, I DCA'd in here. And then what I did was I opened the pool here. I closed it here, and then I actually used my leftover USDC to buy more SOL at this level. So I had all SOL. I had like no USDC. And so then as it came back up here, I've been making a lot of money. Now, what I meant to do was somewhere around here, if it started to dip too much, I would have created another SOL USDC pool. And so that way, as it would be going up and down, I would have been collecting fees. But I missed that it dipped. It dipped pretty quickly. And so I'll look for it to come back up here and then maybe create another one. Or if I think it's going to rip up even like higher, I'll just hold the Solana to be able to gain there. But basically what I do is I just create a pool. I do a 50 or I do an autofill, and I'll just add however much I'm looking to put into it. I do a spot strategy every single time. I do the 20 bin because you can see here, this 20 bin would allow it to go between 219 all the way up to 250. And so this is a good wide range. It'll allow me to check it daily. And be able to, make adjustments as needed. And this pool here is earning, it says 0.6%. I actually think it's probably a little bit more than that now. It just hasn't averaged out yet. But yeah, so that's about what it'd be earning. And so that's my strategy. That's how I do it. As it pushes up to one end or the other, I'll close it out and I'll just rebalance it. I'm not worried about the impermanent loss on something like that. So let's see here. Yeah, weight seems to be pushing back up, so that's good. Chill guy still ranging right around where it is. Weight is starting to push back up, so that's a good spot where we got in at. It does look like Gritty's starting to make a move back, so we'll watch Gritty. We're going to want it to break above this line here. There's multiple resistances it needs to break above, but what we're wanting to do is to move up, have a higher low and a higher high than previously. We want one of each at the very least, and for it to be breaking above some of these previous highs here before we get back into it. So we'll keep watching that because it could come up here and then just break back down. You never know. Just because it comes up a little bit doesn't mean it's going to keep coming up. And so we'll watch for it to create those. Chill guy is in what we call a sideways progression right now, where it looked like it came up a lot. It started to create a downward progression. That progression was broken out of, or trend was broken out of whenever it came all the way back up to here. And now it hasn't created another downward trend yet. It's just in what we call a sideways trend. Now, if it broke down below here, then it would be in a downward trend again. But if it stays where it's at in this range here, it'd be in what we would call a sideways trend, which is kind of what's happening with weight right now. It's in a sideways trend as well, which that's what you want for DLMMing. You want things that are in a sideways trend if you got in at a good spot. Ignore that question. Okay, cool. Do you expect fees to drive? Okay, yes, that question, yeah. Yeah, any other questions? Feel free to let me know. Let me check in Discord. Let me see if we have any other tokens or anything popping up right now. I'm going to do that just a little bit. There's some people that have said on Discord that I'm muted, so we're gonna come in here. We're gonna do this size 40, caps lock. People are saying that I'm muted because I'm on Discord streaming as well, so that people can see that we're live, and then that drives them to Twitter. But I'll let people know that I'm on Twitter. And that's why they cannot hear me. So we'll just leave that for times to be able to communicate. So, all right, cool. Why does CROAK look like it is croaked? When I look at the chart, all I see is a downward trend. Am I wrong? Yeah, we can look at the CROAK chart. It has definitely been in a downward trend. Oh wait, let me just open up a new bird eye here. So obviously, for a token to do well, we need to have the community support it. As well as have, be increasing exposure and bringing more people into it, which is what we're trying to do now. I can never promise that something is going to go to a billion or, whatever it is. I would say that as far as the project is concerned, CROAK is very far from dead because we're going to keep pushing this thing for a very long time. We want to see this be successful over the long term. And there's a lot of coins that sit down at low levels like this before they then break out again. You can see that we've had little dips up, people trying to buy back in. So I can explain this a little bit. I've explained it before. I actually explained it on Seb's stream. I could actually pull up some stuff here so you could see some pretty, let's see here. So we tracked some wallets to snipers that absolutely wrecked us. Let's see here. So this is one of the snipers. And so you can see like we had some crazy good volume, a lot of hype around this token. It was pushing up well, having nice little drawbacks. I expected a big drawback to happen. A lot of people did. And you can see we even started to fight back here. The problem is that once you start in a downward progression like this, people lose confidence, right? And it's really difficult to get it back. But what you end up doing is what ends up happening, which is what has happened, is you end up dribbling off until you get down to where you have a solid group of solid holders that are then like, all right, we're in this for the long haul. And then we try to move from there and bring more exposure to it, which is what we're currently doing. But you can see here, we had some snipers that got in. This is the image of what happened. This is their specific wallet. You can see they started to sell in way up here, caused a ton of pressure that ended up drawing it down. And they even did a little bit of a sell back here. And then we also have this one, which is a connected to the same wallet. And they're the ones that actually, this wallet as well, you can see they sold right at the top here and they sold a huge chunk and caused that. And then look, you can see the dips here as well. They caused those and then they ended up selling out finally down here. I guess once they realized it wasn't, they weren't confident it was going to come back up. And so we can see these were very unfortunate. These happened from snipers. And so they ended up getting a lot of the supply very, very early, ended up dumping on us. From there, again, it's downward progression. It's hard to build back up. And so that's why we've seen what we've seen. But like I said, we are continuing to push and work. Nobody's giving up on this. It's not dead. But ultimately, I can't control the price. We have a bunch of the supply. We're actually burning some of the supply. We burned it yesterday. We're going to keep burning it. And so we own this token. This is something that we're going to keep pushing and do the best that we can. But yeah, it's a good question. Definitely not dead. Hoping, yeah, all the snipers are flushed out at this point. Yep. I don't know what good morning, good night AI is, Zero. But yeah, obviously, if this is something that you want to come check out, see what we're about, see what the narrative is, see if you like the memes and everything that we're pushing out, would love to have you come check it out. It's a good price to get into at this point. We do own a big chunk of the supply, and so it'd be hard for it to go down much lower than this unless some of the other people have bought in, start selling. But yeah, we're trying to push it from here, and we're still investigating the sniper and some of that kind of stuff because there's some shady business there as well. But that may not be able to do anything in the long haul anyway. So, but yeah, we're looking to try to push up from here. Yeah, Gritty's dipping even more. Weight is, yeah, so weight is kind of starting to create somewhat of a downward trend, but we'll keep watching it. We might end up, let's see, getting out of it. What bin am I using on Chill Guy? I think I'm using the 125, 1%. Yeah, 125, 1%. But obviously I'm here, like I live stream this. So, you know, like we're active and working and stuff like that on it right now. We have a pretty big team that's working on it. So is this what you're talking about? Nameless, this token, fine. 4.8 mil. It's got really good volume. This could be a good one. Yeah. It just broke an all-time high here. So we wouldn't buy in right now. We'd look for it to maybe move up a little bit more or start to dip. The whole top 10 holder count looks really good on it. Let's see. It could even break out more here, but we'll wait to see what it does. It's kind of hitting 5 mil, which is like a pretty good resistance for coins to get into, but we'll watch it and see. It might end up being solid. Weight has dipped down a lot. It's below our range. We're just going to go ahead and sell out of weight. It looks like it's dipping too low for us to be able to for it to make sense to stay in it. And this is the nature of, I mean, both trading tokens and DLMMing, right? But with DLMMing, there should be the higher end is less than just like buying a meme coin and hoping it 10x's and selling it. But the lower end is also less with what we're doing. And so a lot of the getting in and out of this stuff, I look for it. I say, hey, I'm going to look at the chart. I'm going to make a decision based on that and say, okay, these are kind of my ranges of what I want. When it breaks out of those ranges, then I'm going to get out, minimize my losses as best as possible. And if you keep doing that over time, your wins will outweigh your losses. And so that's what we're doing. I'm glad that we've had a few of these that we've had to close out of and get out of. So you can kind of see how we mitigate this as we're watching it. If it looks like it drops below, which we can see with weight here, it did ended up dropping below. Now it could bounce off of this and come back up. And we'll look for that. We'll keep watching it because it does have good volume. And if it ends up coming back up a significant amount, then we'll look to get back into it. But as of now, we'll just keep watching and waiting. Gritty is doing the same thing. Let's move this over. This looks like it's breaking out even more. That's fine. Let me go look at fine on on my app here. See if this could be a good one to get into. What platforms do I use? Normally what I do is look on Twitter, and then I use our Discord because there's a lot of people that are watching. There's a lot of different tools and things like that that you can learn about through the Fee Printers Discord that we have. We have a Discover bot, a DLMM bot. So there's a lot of people talking and chatting about what coins are doing well. And then we all will look at them, and then I kind of decide based on the coins that people post if I want to get into them or not. Yeah, it's tough because like Fine looks like it could keep breaking out further. But so what normally happens here, right? I think I see a lot of people do this, and I've done this as well, is that a coin will be breaking out. And you're like, oh my gosh, because you've seen coins do this, and then you've seen them go to like, it's at 5 million. Next thing you know, it's at 10 million. And it's like, dang, I missed my entry. I could have bought in here, and then it would have gone even higher to like 10 million. I should have bought in at the top. The problem with that is that most of the time, that's not the case. Most of the time, when you buy a token at the top here, even if it goes up a little bit, at some point it's going to take a dip back down after it's taken a big pump. That's not always the case, but most of the time it is. And so you don't want to get burnt. I don't need to FOMO in and worry about missing out on money. I'd much rather find a good entry. And so we'll just wait for it to come up here. If for some reason, like we see some like mega candles start happening, then like, okay, maybe it's showing that it's going to end up just ripping. But where it is now, I don't think that there's enough volume and attention to have it just rip in like into the stratosphere. So we'll wait. It might come up a little bit more before taking a dip back down, and we'll find a good range for it, and then we'll maybe get back in. And so we'll just keep looking. I'd imagine based on how it's moved up that it wouldn't go up too much higher, maybe around this range or maybe where it's at now, and then start to dip back down again. So we'll keep watching that. Yeah, someone had mentioned Quant. That was one we were looking at. I think it's dipped down a lot. Let's look at Quant. What is over here? That's weight. This one's gritty. We'll use this chart here to look at Quant. Also want to look at Chill Guy. Chill Guy is in a sideways trend now, which is really, really good for our pool. We're going to wait for Fine to dip back down a little bit further. Yeah, Quant was way up, came down on its initial big dip, came back up, came down. It's actually in a very big dip right now, which is very surprising. And so we'll look for Quant to find resistance. Honestly, probably around where it is here, or maybe a little bit lower here. And then we'll look for it to break back up above here. Quant's got good volume though, especially for its market cap. And then we'll look for it to break above here or here. Yeah, this is a more significant level. So we'll watch Quant to see what it does. There's a lot of volume right in here, but we don't want to buy it on the way down. So we'll keep watching it. Chill Guy does look like it might break below. This is actually the support here. It's going to test or break below it. Does look like Fine is dipped back down a little bit. So we'll keep watching it, and we'll look for it to build a new support level and then go off of that. It might be around here. We'll see. Winter Arc. Okay, let's see. We'll take a look at it. Let me check some of y'all's questions here. All right, what is the best time today to DLM, you think? Right now is a pretty good time, up until about an hour from now. And then I usually find that it'll die off a little bit, and then it'll be good like a little bit later. And so, yeah, like in 5 hours from now, like 5 to 6 hours could be good. But there's also a window in the morning from like about 2 hours ago until now. And usually we'll start to see it die down. Fantastic. It wants me to verify what is a real bicycle, man. Usually we'll see it die down in about an hour. Sometimes it'll stay pretty strong right now and for a little bit longer. But usually I'll watch this a little bit longer, and we'll go another like 15 minutes or so before hopping off. Also weekends. Yeah, weekends are also lower. And that's not always the case. Like there are coins that rip and do really well on weekends. So we actually really like this chart. Just initially looking at it, it just broke above here. It's in an upward trend. So we're actually going to go ahead and buy this winter ARK token. It's like right at the entry that we would want to see it at. We're going to do 15 SOL worth, which is around $3,200 something worth right now with the slippage and everything. For fine, we can do one-sided instead of two-sided. Yeah, you can do a one-sided pool. It's up to you how you want to do that. We're going to get into a winter pool. 200 bin 2% is probably fine. We'll do this one. There's actually not a lot of liquidity in this. So this is actually really good. There's not a lot of competition. It's kind of an ideal scenario as far as getting into a pool. It means that there's going to be a lot of movement on our specific amount of liquidity we're putting in, and can earn even more fees. So we'll keep watching that. Fine as well. Looks like it's maybe found a good support. It didn't dip down a lot, but it looks like it might be trying to break back up. So we'll see. Let me refresh this because I think it's a little behind. Chill guys, still doing well in a sideways progression. We want to see it bounce off of here and come back up. This is the one that tried to get me to verify with bicycles. This is quant. Yeah, we're not going to, it's going to take a little while, I think, for quant to come back up. Let's see. Yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and get out of it now and watch it later. Winter, we just got into. It could dip back down from here, but I think it's in an upward progression and found a good range. So we'll see what it does. It was a quick snap decision because it looked like it was in a good spot. The volume on it is decent for a 20 million market cap coin, and most of the volume's been more recent, so we'll keep watching it. Chill guys, good. Sideways progression. Fine is looking like it might be breaking out, so we might go ahead and get into it. We're just going to buy 10 SOL worth of fine. It's a lower market cap. Even that might be a little too much, but I think we'll be okay with that. See if it goes through here. Failed due to slippage. Of course, right when we try to buy it, it looks like it's starting to try to break out again. It's a fine line. That's why I try to move quick on these. Whenever I see it moving, I'm like, all right, it's a good spot. I try to get in, but sometimes I'll miss it on the slippage and then I'll end up missing out a little bit, but that's okay. We'll come back to it as well. Let's look at this fine pools that we have here. We really want a 200 bin. There's only 100 bins. This is a lower market cap coin that could move up pretty significantly. Not saying that it will, but just it has the potential to. And so we don't want to leave ourselves short on how much we can earn. It'll also be safer on the downside to have a longer, wider range pool as well. So we'll go back and look at the chart on this in just a second once we get all this locked in, but I am watching on my phone and it does look like it's trying to pump up here, which we bought in lower. So even though we're creating our pool kind of a little bit higher, obviously we're already in profit from it shooting up, which it's doing now. It's unfortunate I wasn't able to get the pool in time. So the downside of our pool may look worse than it actually is because it's probably going to take a little bit of a dip back here, but that's okay. Ultimately, we know that we actually got in further down. So if our pool ends up being a little bit below even, we're actually probably closer to even on our entry because of actually where we bought into it. So, all right, pool's created. So you can see here, fine breaking out. Looks like it comes up here and then it might start to dip back down a little bit. So we'll keep watching that. Chill guys still doing good, going sideways. Winter does look like it's breaking up. And so these are the three we're watching right now. Dex Screener is only in pairs, doesn't give overall. Have you tried using Dex Screener over Bird Eye? It works better for me. Yeah, I've tried using Dex Screener. One is that I use a VPN, and so Dex Screener doesn't like that. Sometimes I have trouble using it. The second thing is that I just like the layout and UI of Bird Eye better. And I've put side by side Deck Screener and Bird Eye, and their charts move at the exact same speed and accuracy. So they must use the same thing, whatever it is. Whereas like the chart that I'm looking at on my phone with the Vector app, which is through Tensor, it's like stupid fast. I actually see the movement of the chart, like sometimes 15 up to like 30 seconds before it actually updates on either Deck Screener or Bird Eye. It's like a meme coin trading app essentially mixed with SocialFi that they've recently created. I got into limited beta. Once I start getting keys and stuff like that and referral codes, I will share those with y'all. I haven't got those yet, but I should be getting them soon. And so anyway, we'll see. All right, let's see here. Sorry, I was just reading another chat thing. Yeah, Chill Guy still looks to be sideways. It's doing pretty good. Fine does look like it's breaking out even further, which is really nice. Let's see how that's going. Yeah, so we're already earning stupid fees on Fine. It's a good thing we did the 200 bin 2%. You can see already just within a few minutes of opening this pool, we have about $5,000 total in liquidity between both the Sol and the Fine side. And you can see we're already earning over 900% on it. And so as it pushes up here, we're seeing that move pretty nicely. It looks like it's going to continue to move up from here even. Like I said, it's slightly delayed. We're going to keep watching Chill Guy, and Winter as well is moving up nicely. So all of our pools at this point, we had a few pools that we had closed out of and stuff like that and didn't look as good, but a lot of these are starting to look a lot better. And so like I said, that's why when we see some of these pools and they're not doing well, we just close them out, mitigate it, and then we yeah, like I said, mitigate the losses. And then on the wins, we try to get those big wins. And so Chill Guy still above where we entered at as far as our center point, earning 35%. That's really good. Chill Guy is one that I want to sit on for a while. I think it ranges in here before it either breaks out or breaks back down. And so we'll look for that. But I think it's going to range there for a little while. Winter's moving a little bit slower, but still doing fairly well. And it is in an upward progression here after they broke out above here. So I think we see more upside, which you can see there. That's pretty good. Keep earning fees there. And it looks like Fine. Yeah, I love this. I mean, we're seeing a lot of dips here, but we're also seeing some pretty big spikes as well. I think we could see this continue to go up from here. Let me draw some charts. I'm looking at a lot of things, and so I was trying to move quickly. Now that we've got all these transactions in, we'll see where it goes from here. So we'll see if it ends up dipping back at some point around this range. This is usually a good little move up point before it breaking back down. So yeah, Chill Guy still looking really strong. Let's look at Winter here. Let me come back to answer some of these questions. Would it be possible to get a one-on-one lesson at some point, or like follow along videos, sort of like you're doing now, but in a way in which the viewers can follow and make the same trades? Yeah, I mean, y'all can make the same trades I'm making now, right? Like, I'm not saying you should do that. This isn't financial advice, but obviously there's nothing stopping you from doing it. Like I said, I have some losses and some wins. And so also, if you're getting in behind me, I move pretty quick. And so you may miss out a little bit. But either way, you can do that now. I haven't done one-on-one sessions, but I've been asked about that a lot. And so obviously my time, I do a lot of things. It's valuable. And so if you want to reach out to me, we can talk about what that would look like. You can DM me. I am open to it. I just isn't something that I've done in the past. Feed Printers is that a Discord. You need the NFT to join in if that's the one on Tensor. So Feed Printers does have an NFT. The NFT is basically they just took the funds and they do what I'm doing here. Mitt does it. He's the owner of the Discord. And that gives rev share over time. Right now they're compounding, so it hasn't given any rev share yet, but that's what he's doing. It is his project. I don't manage or do anything with the funds, but the Discord itself has stayed completely unlocked and free. So you can enter it. You just go to Fee Printer, somebody can link it, and their Discord is on their Twitter account. You can just go and do that. So yeah, Free Printer is a great place. It's where I get a lot of my coins, watch a lot of stuff. All of these I got from there. So yeah. You see the source, like for the token, you see most trades are going through Radium. So using the Meteora pool is close to you. You see the source. What are you saying, Zero Tabby? You see the source, like for this token, you see most trades are going through Radium. So using the Meteora pool is close to useless. Yeah, I'm not. 420 viewers. Awesome. Thank y'all so much for watching. We're getting a lot of people watching right now. Again, thank y'all. Hope y'all are learning something, hoping that it's beneficial to you. It does look like on Fine here that it has hit a top here. So we'll probably see it break back down, which is great. We'll continue to earn fees and see where it goes from there. Chill Guy is still sideways, still good. And Winter is still breaking up. So that's really good to see as well. Yeah, can you explain what you mean by this? So, oh, you're talking about like right here. You can see like the different pull charts. What source are you talking about? I'm not sure if that's what you mean. YPU 420 viewers. Please check my message above. Did I miss it? Oh yeah, I said the one-on-one thing. You saw that. Okay. What Fine bin did you make? On Fine, I did a 200 bin 2%. I'm pretty sure. I think I created it because there wasn't one. Yeah, 200 bin 2%. You can see my bins and fee pulls right here. It does look like CROAK has come back into range a little bit, so that's good. We're actually earning pretty decent fees on CROAK. It just came back in, so as it pushes up, we'll earn a decent amount. We'll keep this pool open as well. Continue to earn fees on our CROAK token as well. How long do you stream during sessions? These are great. Hey, Salami, I appreciate it, man. Normally I'll stream for at the very minimum 1 hour, but many times it's for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I've even gone a little bit over 2 hours. I do it before my lunch, and so depending on how hungry I am or if I need to get some food for the family or something like that, then I will hop off earlier. I will be not on too much longer, probably another like 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how well these pulls do. I'll continue to watch them. It does look like Fine is bouncing off of this area here and coming back down, so we'll look for it to create a new range around here for our pool, and that's great because of where we got in on Fine, we're on the upside. So even as it dips down, we're still way up as far as the value. We'll see this bounce around a little bit here. By the trades, look at the bottom. Oh, you're talking about the trades. You're talking about the trading volume here. If there isn't a bin, is there a downside to creating one? No, I mean, there's no benefit or downside to creating a new pool. Excuse me. The reason that I created it is because I wanted a wider range. And so there was only 100 bin step pools. And so I said, I'm going to create a 200 bin step pool to have a little bit of a wider range like this on Fine. And that's why I created it. There's no downside except that you have to pay like a few dollars to create the pool because of the fees. But other than that, there's no downside. I mean, I wouldn't create a pool if you're only working with like $20 because the few dollars would make a big difference. But for anybody that's using like hundreds of dollars or more, it's probably fine to create a pool. On Bird Eye, you can see the trades. You see the you're talking about on Bird Eye down at the bottom. Yeah, you can see the trades here. Yeah. Yeah, you can see where it's bought and sold from. You can see over here, yeah, like Radium and stuff like that. Yeah, so even though it's like there's a lot on Radium, anytime it shows Radium or Jupiter, it could also be routing through those. You can see the source here is Meteora. But either way, we're making good fees. You can see like we're earning over 700% on Fine. And so the reason that a lot of the trades probably weren't going through is because there's not a lot of liquidity on Fine. On Meteora, most of it's on Radium and other places. And so that's actually good for us because even though there's not as many buys and sells that are going through Meteora, the ones that are more likely to be ours because like you can see there were some that just went through. They're more likely to be ours, like that one right there. You'll see different ones, Meteora there. And so there's less liquidity, less competition. And so that's fine. As long as this is showing good, as long as we can actually see this going up. I mean, look, we've literally made almost a soul in fees and not very long, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, which is really good considering how much we have put in here. Fine looks like it's dipped down a little bit, but continues to fight a little bit sideways or even upwards. We'll see how that goes. So Fine's still doing really well. Chill Guy is starting to make a move back up, so that's good. Like to see that. And Winter moved up a really good amount, and then it started to kick back down just a little bit. So that's great. So let's go look at our Winter pool here. Yeah, you can see we're earning really good fees on Winter. We're still on the upside of where we entered into it, earning over 170%. So all of our pools are earning really good fees. All of them are on the upside of where we entered at this point. We did have a few pools, if y'all remember earlier in the stream, that did the opposite of what we're seeing now, right? We get into them, we earn a little bit, but then overall it looks like they start dipping down. And so we just close out of those, get out, take the loss, right? Because these are the opportunities that we look for, where we've seen a lot of these tokens continually have more upside, collect a lot of fees along the way. And it's been really, really good. So this is what we look for and take advantage of. And so a lot of these wins that we're seeing here should outweigh any of those minimal losses we took earlier, as well as even more so that we can finish the stream out on a plus, right? With how much money we have. Sorry, I was just checking something out here. Yeah, up to 448 views on Twitter. Thank y'all so much again. Really appreciate everybody that's watching. We're going to keep going on a little bit further. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Punda, I'm still battling to understand how you determine your entry and exit points. All right, let me check that out, and I will let you know. Let's see here. Before the end of the video, if you close all, can you just give overall profit? Yeah, I mean, I won't be able to give that right away. I can show you the profit that I made on most of those pools that I lost money on. I lost anywhere between a couple $100s to like $1,000 on one of them. So I'm probably down about 2,000, maybe even 2,500 on all those other pools. And so when I close these out, I'll show the win. Again, it's kind of estimated, but I'll show you the wins on how well I'm doing. So it does look like Fine is breaking back up again. Again, amazing. We're watching Winter here, which has started to break back down just a little bit. And so one thing on these pools is like a lot of these, I'm not going to sit on them forever. If I think they're going to do well long term, then I'll probably end up sitting on them. But a coin like Winter here, based on the chart and how it's looking and stuff like that, it might be one that like I just get out of now, knowing that I'm going to be closing these pools before I get off, because I don't want to sit on all these whenever I go on my lunch break. I want to make sure that I can watch them, because I don't want them to dip down. These are meme coins. They can do anything. Even though I chart them and I look at what they're doing, ultimately you have to be careful. You need to take profits and things like that. So Winter is one that like I'm not as confident in over the long haul. Obviously, like I was confident in this trade here and it's done well. We'll just go ahead and close out Winter and take the win. And then I'm going to hold on to these other two because they seem to be doing really well right now, and watch them over the next 5 to 10 minutes and look for a good time to get out on the high side as well. And so I'll get the transactions on all of these once that's done. Chill Guy's looking good. Let me see where our Chill Guy pool's at. So we're out of Winter. Let's go to Chill Guy, see it. It does look like Fine keeps on pushing up even more, so that's really good to see. Chill Guy looks to be breaking up. If Chill Guy breaks above this range here, that's really good. It'll be testing the all-time high next, and then we can see where it's going from there. Let me look on my Tensor Vector Fun app and see what Chill Guy is showing here. Yeah, it looks like it is around the same spot. It might be a little bit. It looks like it's trying to break out above, so we'll keep watching that. It looks like I just I only sold 3,000. So if I did that to the Winter chart, there's not a whole lot of liquidity in Winter. It shouldn't move that much from a 3,000 sell. So it looks like other people are selling as well. could be people on this live stream. I'm not sure. I did sell out of it. I think. Oh no, I didn't sell out of it. Maybe y'all started selling on me before I could sell out of it. And obviously, like me doing this live allows that to be the case. And so like I try to be as transparent as possible with what I'm doing. Obviously, y'all can copy trade me. You could front run me, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, that could hurt you in the long run as well. But yeah, it does look like Winter started to dip. We got out. We did get out above where we entered at, considering we entered down here. But obviously we didn't gain quite as much as we would have liked off of that because of the big dip off there beforehand. So we're going to keep watching Chill Guy. It looks like it's kind of chilling around there, maybe pushing up a little bit higher. And we're going to keep watching to see if it breaks out. If it breaks out here, we'll wait for it to come up even higher to the all-time high. Or if it doesn't, then we'll maybe sell right around where it is if it looks like it's starting to break back down. But it looks like it's fighting pretty hard to stay around here. So we'll see. Fine looks to be doing good as well. Let's go to the Fine pool. Let's see. How often do you jump on a coin when it releases compared to waiting? I'll jump on a coin pretty quickly if it has a lot of volume and just watch it closely. I'll have a smaller sizing on it, like only like 1 to like 3% of my portfolio I'll put in it and watch it. And if it looks like it's dipping, I'll just get out. But a lot of times those newer coins can do really well. How comfortable are you staying in these positions if you walk away from the computer? Yeah, so explain that. So basically, like Chill Guy is one that like I maybe could leave open longer, which is the one that we're looking at here. But it's hard to fully know. And so I'm because this coin is hyped up recently and has really been just recently pushing up a lot, even though it's a higher market cap coin, I might end up looking to get out of it. I'm just watching it right now to see. It does look like it's going to be breaking above this line. So we'll wait to see what it does here and see if it breaks out higher before we get out. But it might be one that I would close out of. A coin that's been out for days or weeks and has consistently showed that it's doing well, then those are ones that I'd feel more confident in. Most of the ones I'm looking at today, outside of maybe Chill Guy, most of these I would probably get out of right away. And so like Fine looks like it's pushed up it's pushing up towards the top end of my range here. We've been earning really, really good fees on it. And so we're going to wait to see where it's at. It looks like it might be taking a little bit of a dip. Like it looks like it's hit its very top range. So we're going to go ahead and close out here. And we're waiting to sell. We're going to wait to see if it dips. We might hold it a little bit longer because it is pushing up pretty solid. But we just want to watch it. Since it is pushing up to the top of our range, we would only let it go a little higher anyway if we did sit on it. Looks like there's some bigger sells on Fine. Again, this could just be people front running me. Maybe I'll stop saying it and I'll just do it first and then say it. Like, I don't know if y'all realize this, but like I have $1,000. It's not going to do anything to the chart, just so y'all know. If you feel like you need to front run me because I'm going to like nuke the chart, like if I was selling like 10 or 15 or 20,000 worth of a token, then yeah, I can understand that. But just know like, yeah, because Fine's dipping down a lot now once I got out of it here. So you'll see it hasn't done it yet, but it's about to start dipping pretty significantly, like right there. So we probably got out at a good time. We could see this fight back up kind of depending, but hopefully I'm not having that big of a difference on these charts. I may be, but hopefully I'm not affecting them that much. I'm not trading significant amount here. And the reason I don't is because these are smaller cap coins. So, but I'll show you all the profit on all these before I hop off. Chill Guy is still looking pretty good. It's like fighting, trying to break out here. So we're going to keep holding it. The fees are still pretty solid on it. It is a higher market cap coin, so it's not quite as high of fees as like some of the other ones. So while we wait on this one, I'm going to go ahead and pull up Metlex and I'm going to pull up these transactions that I got out on Fine. And we'll see what kind of profit we made. How comfortable, enjoying watching, follow along. Hey, thanks. I really appreciate anybody who's here watching right now, whether on YouTube, Twitter. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank y'all for checking us out. May have just missed this, but what is the advantage of the 200 bid? So the bins are just how wide of range. It also reduces risk or increases risk. So if you have a shorter range, you're concentrating more of your liquidity. You can make more money, but if it pushes out of that range, you could also take more in permanent loss than you could on a 200 bin. The 200 bin will allow for both more upside, but also, or like more room for upside, right? If the token pushes up higher and higher, but it'd also be slightly less fees. So it's just a lower risk option. To the higher highs, do you consider the close of the candle, not the wick? Correct. You don't want to look at the wick. I wait for them to actually close out above the line. or below a line. I don't trust the wick. So this will move around a lot, and I wait for it to close, meaning the candle is solidified. The candle is not moving anymore. And that's where I determine, not based off of the wicks. We're going to go ahead and close out a chill guy. It's kind of going sideways right now after reaching the top. And so we're not selling yet. We're just going to wait to see. We're going to put this in and wait to see if it, which direction it moves in. If it goes up, we'll wait and then we'll sell as it moves up. Or if it goes down, we'll go ahead and sell it. We'll actually go ahead and sell it now. It looks like it's dipping. See if we can get out. Yeah, it's too much of a coincidence that when I go to sell a coin, it dips a little bit. It's got to be somebody front running. Yeah, a huge chunk just sold. So someone then bought back up. Let's go ahead and refresh it. Oh yeah, that got eaten up big time. There was a big wick from somebody selling down, and then it got eaten back up. So maybe we'll wait. It actually looks like it might push back up now. What is Sol at right now? Yeah, these swaps are struggling to go through. All right, there we go. Got it through. All right, so that should be the last one. We're holding on to our Fred pool, hoping that it'll come back up into range. We're holding on to our CROAK pool, which has moved back up nicely. It's still at the bottom of our range, but it should be pushing up. You can see here. This is where it was, so it should start to push up into here as we keep watching that. Fine is paused, but it did come down. Same thing with Chill Guy. Chill Guy's still fighting to come back up. All right, so let's see here. We have metlex.io. Let's go to our transactions. This is the one that we had. I might have already, that might be this one. I don't know. Hopefully Metlex is working. Every now and then the site will be down, but it looks like it is working. It was just going a little slow. Okay, so this is on Fine. We earned 16% on the P&L, so 16% return. You can see here that we deposited $5,473. The value of it went up overall, and so we ended up closing out of it at $6,045, and we made $309 in fees. So the total profit between the value of it going up and the fees is $881, which is a 16% return on how much we put in. So that's pretty solid. We'll go ahead and screenshot this. And we'll go into Discord here, and there's a share wins column. And so we'll share that. And then let's see here. We'll go to the wallet again, and we'll look up another transaction. See if this is the same one or if this is a different one. No, this is the same one. All right, this one. This should be the Chill Guy one. So we're going to come in and enter that. You can put the transaction or the link. Either one will work. And it's metlex.io, metlex.io. You can also see like how much rewards you've earned over time and stuff like that. You can see we got a 5% return on this one, a little bit less, but the actual amount is a little bit more. And so that's why like we're willing to put more in. We put almost $15,000 total between the two-sided pool into this one. And so we earned a little bit on the fees. We earned a little bit on the value going up. This is one normally that I would hold a little longer, but in this case, I'm not going to. But I could get back into this one later if it ends up coming back up. But yeah, so we went ahead and closed out of this one. We made about the same amount, a little bit less than the Fine pool. But it was, to me, less risky because of it being a higher market cap coin. So I put more of a sizing in, and we made about the same amount. So it's good to have a mixed strategy of less and more. usually I'm putting in less on the ones that have higher returns. And so in those instances, we make more as far as percentage wise, but our overall portfolio doesn't necessarily go up as much as one like this. In this instance, it did, but not always, because I used a smaller sizing compared to a larger sizing on this one. And you need to do that based on your portfolio and what the value is for that. So we're going to go over to Discord here. I'll answer some more questions shortly as well. We'd like to post our wins in the share wins part in the fee printer Discord. And then the last one that we did earlier, and I hadn't grabbed, which was winter. I think this is it. Winter was, I think, less of a win. It might also be small, like a 5 or 10% one, but let's see. We're unable to locate it. Interesting. We did have some transactions fail. Maybe it's this one. No, that's an add liquidity, which you could use the add or the remove liquidity for it. So I might try to get the add liquidity one for winter, because for some reason the closeout one is not registering right on SolScan. It doesn't even register it as winter. It just says SPL token. I'm pretty sure this is winter though. We'll test it out and see if it works. So meanwhile, let's see if I can answer a few more questions. Do I use bid-ask much? I do use bid-ask sometimes. It just depends on how volatile I think the token's going to be. If I think it's like really bouncing up and down, then bid-ask might be good. Otherwise, I usually stick to one-sided. It's the best all around. Thoughts on the MC squared coin? I'll check that out. Look at fine now. No, look at it now. Fine. Yeah, it's doing good. It looks like it's pushing back up, so that's good. Do any indicators help influence your real-time decisions like VWAP, triple EMA, MACD, or RSI on short-term frames? I don't really get too in-depth into it, honestly. I just stick to what I know. I stick to the simple highs and lows. I look at what are the resistances, what are the supports, what are the general trends that it's making, and because I'm not doing trades that are where I'm buying and selling directly. I'm doing DLMMing, right? So I'm looking for a coin. I do want to catch it on a little bit of the upside, but overall I'm just looking for a coin that's ranging and that has good volume. And so that's the main indicator. I just look at where it's at, where I think it's going, and just kind of go from there. Let me look at that E equals MC squared coin. I'm gonna keep these two up because these are two that I want to watch and see where they go. Chill Guy is still going sideways right now, still sitting really good. And Fine looked like it's actually dipped back down just a little bit, but both are still like within good ranges, both of those coins. I'm just about to hop off, so I didn't want to leave them up. I'm not sure how this coin's going to come up if I look it up like this. I don't know if you have the CA on it. Bro, my TV just turned on in the other room. Nobody's home besides me. It just turned off when it heard me talk about it. That's crazy. I just heard my TV turn on. I was like, who the heck is in my house? I realized it was the TV. Equals MC squared seems, unless there's another one, that one's not doing well. There has got to be another one. I saw this coin the other day. It looked like it was doing well. Let me look on the on my Vector app and see if it'll pop up. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it's doing great. Yeah, that's my general take. You'd have to give me the CA for me to look specifically, but let's see. Why are you using Radium Swap instead of Jupiter? So I normally use Jupiter. The only problem is right now my trades are not going through. I don't know if it's congestion or something else, but I was having trouble. Do you determine that it's time to get out of a coin if it starts to fall? How do you determine? Basically, I just say, like, for instance, if we're looking at Chill Guy here, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get in. I got in down here. It's moving up nicely. I have certain ranges I draw, like these right here. And so if it were to come all the way down, Chill Guy to here, and it were to start breaking out, then I would have sold. Because that's the point at which I'm looking at the previous support lines. And if it breaks below those, it's very likely to drop a significant amount lower. And this is, based on where I get in at, this is roughly like a 10 or 15% drop. And so obviously I'm collecting fees, so it's not like a 10 or 15% loss. It'll end up being less overall. And I'm also not buying and then selling here. I'm DCAing, and so it ends up reducing it as well. But either way, it's once the coin drops roughly 10 to 15%, unless I really believe in it, like I have with other coins, there are times where that's the case. I usually get out. And so that's what I'm looking for. How are you sure on volume from indicator tab while it's rising up? Well, I mean, I look at the 30-minute volume here. You can see on Bird Eye or whatever site you use, there's a 24-hour volume and a 30-minute. So like the 30-minute volume on Chill Guy is 11.5 million, which is like really high. Now it's a large market cap coin, but that's really good. And so that's why this is a good coin to DLMM because of that reason. And so I just look at the 30-minute volume. I'll also look down here. You can see the volume indicators because 30-minute isn't always the most accurate. If 30 minutes ago it was pumping, but now it's not. And so I also look at these to watch. And so you can see the volume started to dip down a little bit on Chill Guy. And so this number might end up averaging down a little bit lower. But either way, it's still pretty high, especially if you look at it compared to over here. This is still pretty high. So that's what I use. Probably spirits. Yeah, who knows? Jeffy is moving. I can't look at that right now, nameless, but I will pull that up so we can look at it another time maybe. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm about to get off. Is that Meteora DLM chart that we see now? No, the Meteora DLM is here. So it's this one on the actual Meteora site. So you can see like this is the position here. This is where it's at. These are the charts that we'd be looking at. These are all Bird Eye. So you go through how you draw the ranges. Yeah, I mean, I'm basically just looking at highs and lows. So like if you're looking, I mean, it's hard to do it on a coin like this. Like fine, it's fairly new. It's pumped up a lot. It's much easier to do on a coin like Chill Guy. But so this is what I do. When it hits an all-time high, I draw the line, all-time high. That's where it is. I then look back, and going from the all-time high, I look back and I say, okay, where was the first dip at? And you can see here on the way up, this is the last dip at. You can see this is where the last dip was. And so after this last dip, it then started to move up. So this was a support that was created, basically saying once it dipped down, people said this is a good price they wanted to buy in at. It created a support before coming back up. You can then follow it back down further. This is a very small one. So like you may or may not count this, but this could be considered a support. And then as you move down from here, there wasn't any supports all the way to here and here, which are basically the same thing. They're like a very tight range. So I would consider that like one support. They're very close together. And so that's where I would draw my next support line because this is the previous low that was sold into. And then someone said, hey, this is good enough. I want to buy back into it. Because charts are basically just showing you what people think about the token. And people put their money where their mouths are, put their money where they believe in, right? And so this is basically just showing, hey, people, once it got to this point, people said, hey, I want to take profits. So they sold down to here. Enough people here at this point said, hey, we think this is a good spot to buy in at. And it came up. And then it came all the way up to here, taking these little dips. And so essentially that's what it's doing. But that's how I draw the lines. And so like where it is now, I leave the all-time high up until it breaks above the all-time high. And then I'll say, okay, where is the previous supports? It's currently resistances. Sorry. When it goes up, I call them resistances. When it comes down, I call them supports. The ones below where it's at are supports. The one above it are resistances. So you can see here with Chill Guy, it looks like it's testing this resistance. If it breaks out above it, then it's likely that it'll then keep going to test the next one. It doesn't mean that it will. It just means it's more likely to. But you can see it's testing this support here. And I know that because you can see there's actually multiple previous supports here, which there's actually one all the way back here. There's one here and there's one here. And so this is a significant support line. So if it breaks above it, that's a good sign for Chill Guy. And then same on the downside, I'm looking and I would draw a line here because this is the previous resistance, previous supports here. I said support. This is resistance. This is support. And so this is the previous one. These two are very close together. So I would just consider them one support. So I draw a line there. The next one is here. So I would draw a line here. And then the next one is here, which these are both kind of combined. So you would just draw one here. I'd usually just split them in the middle and just draw one line like that. And that's kind of how I draw them. You can see there's a lot of buy pressure on Chill Guy. Let me look at Chill Guy. I might get back into it. I'm I'm just going to wait. I think it is breaking out a little bit here. Oh, why not? We'll buy back into it real quick. I do want to get off soon, but I'll just buy this. I'm going to buy a small amount for my portfolio. We'll just buy 8 SOL worth, which is around $1,800. It looks like it might break out. So I'm just going to buy it. I'm going to create a small pool, and I'll just leave it up over lunch and go from there. So it does look like it's in a good upward trend. So that's why we're getting into it now. Again, I'm using Radium and not Jupiter only because Jupiter is not working. I normally like Jupiter a lot better, but it's just not working for me right now. I'm not sure why. Trades just aren't going through. Do you use for finding any coin that contains high volume activity? Oh, so other people post stuff all the time in the Fee Printers Discord, so that's a great way. But you could also go to like Metlex here, and you can go to pools, and you can look at the token. Or sorry, not pools. You can go to DLMM. Here you go, and you can do show all, and you can do filter by volume, and you can do like 5 minute or 1 hour. Like let's do 5 minutes, so that's gonna be like really close. Sort by volume, descending. So you can do that, and then you can say, okay, look, Chill Guy has crazy volume, Bonk has good volume, Fwog has good volume, things like that. And you can kind of go from there and see. Weight is also pretty good, right? There's a bunch of different ones, but you can use this Metlex and go under DLMM. That's one way to do it. You could also just look on like a Bird Eye or Deck Screener and look for stuff with volume there. So there's a few different things that you can do. Did I buy it? Did it go through? Looks like it did. Chill Guy. We're going to do the 125, 1% again. We like that pool. All right, everybody. So I'm going to add this in, and we're going to do a 2-sided autofill on Chill Guy, and then we're going to hop off. So we're going to keep watching this for a little while. But I just want to thank y'all again so much for coming out and watching. Let me see where we got up to on this. Yeah, we're currently sitting at over 500 views. That is amazing. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate y'all coming out and watching this. Obviously, I'm trying to provide really, really good content. I hope that y'all can learn something from this. I'll continue to do this. I'm going to do another one tomorrow, potentially do one on Friday. We'll see. I'm actually going out of town on Saturday. And so obviously I wouldn't be doing them on the weekend anyway, but I'll be out. So I won't be doing any live streaming next week. I'll still be online, still be doing stuff while I'm out of town. Obviously, I have my CROAK coin, that project that I'm looking to run, as well as wanting to manage some DLMMs. I'll probably have some either like bigger meme coins that I'm just earning a small percentage on daily while I'm gone, or mostly SOL USDC, and just will auto balance that. I'll do a little bit of meme coin probably, but not a ridiculous amount. And so you may not see me live stream next week, but I will be back after that. We also have live streaming that happens inside the Discord at Fee Printers, even whenever I'm not on. Mint, the founder, will do some of those as well. And so again, thank y'all so much for coming out watching. If you are interested in our coin CROAK, please go ahead and check it out. You can check it out on my Twitter. I talk about it a lot. Again, if you don't feel comfortable buying in, I completely understand. The chart is down a lot, but we are fighting and trying to push for it to go up. And so would appreciate your support in that. If you want to get involved, it is a good price and a good place to get in now. So we're going to keep working on that, pushing out memes and content. It is a meme coin at the end of the day, not set to have any sort of utility. So you have to make that financial decision for yourself. But again, I'll see y'all again next time, probably tomorrow, and we'll push these and do these some more. So thank y'all so much, and y'all have a great day.